Hello, I'm Naku from SoftUni, and I'm here for the second part of my free Java coding tutorial. As you know, my free code lessons are not just video tutorials. They combine videos with many live examples and practical exercises where you write code after each lesson. So, you learn Java coding through practice by writing Java code, and you send your code to our online judge system and you get an automated grading. Remember that coding is a skill which you should practice. To learn coding, you should write code every day for a long time. Watching tutorials is not enough. You should code. Today, I continue with my Java programming tutorial for absolute beginners. This is the second lesson from my Java tutorial, so if you are newbie, you should go first through the previous lesson. In this lesson, I will talk about development environments, the so-called IDEs, which are used by developers to write, compile, run, and debug code. I will teach you how to use IntelliJ IDEA, the most popular IDE for Java developers. I will show you how to install and run IntelliJ IDEA, how to create a console-based app, how to write code in the code editor, how to use the autocomplete to speed up coding, and how to run your programs, and even how to debug your code. Together, we'll solve a few coding exercises to practice our new skills. Okay, let's start. Let's learn how to use IntelliJ IDEA. It's easy, just follow my instructions. First, I would like to explain you what is IDE, Integrated Development Environment, or just coding environment, and how it helps writing code, compiling and running the code, and debugging, which means to step through the code one by one. Programming languages are related to integrated development environments because to write programs we need an IDE, integrated development environment. For example, for Java we can use IntelliJ IDEA or Eclipse or NetBeans or Visual Studio Code or some other IDE. We need an IDE because it greatly simplifies our work. If we program in another language, for example C#, we can use the Visual Studio IDE from Microsoft or Radar IDE from JetBrains or Visual Studio Code also from Microsoft. For Python, we can use the PyCharm IDE or Eclipse or NetBeans or Visual Studio Code or some other IDE. For JavaScript, we can use Visual Studio Code or WebStorm or some other integrated development environment. But what exactly is an integrated development environment? It's a tool, it's a software which greatly simplifies the software development. For example, if you are a designer, you will use Photoshop because it enables you to process images, to do your designer work. In the same way, if you are a Java developer, you should use either IntelliJ IDEA or Eclipse or another IDE. If you are an accountant, you can use, for example, Excel or some accounting software. So IDEs are the tools for developers to write their code, to debug the code, to test their code, and many other code-related activities. IDEs save time and eases the process of coding. It's just more easy to write your code in an IDE instead of just in a simple text editor like Notepad. So in our Java lessons from now on, we shall use IntelliJ IDEA Community Edition, which is a free open source IDE for Java from the company called JetBrains. In this section, I will show you IntelliJ IDEA. It is the world's most popular development environment for Java. Java developers love it because it makes Java coding a pleasure. I will tell you about IntelliJ IDEA, the free community edition we'll use, and how to download and install it. You can download IntelliJ IDEA by visiting jetbrains.com/idea. You click download and you download this one, community. Depending whether you use Windows or Mac or Linux, you can download your installer to simplify the installation process. Again, what is IntelliJ IDEA? IntelliJ IDEA is a powerful IDE for Java developers. It runs in Windows, in Linux and MacOS and many others, and it looks like this. It is just an editor plus compiler plus debugger plus many other tools for developers which are bundled together in order to simplify your job in writing code, in debugging code, in running code, etc. So, how to install IntelliJ Community Edition? You go to the IntelliJ IDEA website, jetbrains.com/idea. You go to the download section, you choose your platform, for example, macOS or Windows, and you download this Community Edition. Community Edition is the free version of IntelliJ IDEA. They have also your ultimate version, but we don't need it now. So, once you install and run IntelliJ IDEA, it may look like this. I will start it with my start IDEA, and I choose IntelliJ IDEA Community Edition. This is the splash screen, and now I have this welcome screen. After the welcome screen, I can open an existing project or create a new Java project, and I will open an existing project just to show you how it looks like. It opens my workspace. So this is a program which I wrote a few days ago, and these are some other programs which I played with in IntelliJ IDEA. But we have a code editor, we have a project explorer, this one, which holds my project assets, my files, my classes, etc. And I can run the code like this with right click and choosing run from the console. And here I can interact with the console, for example, enter 5, and it converts 5 centimeters into inches because this is my program. So the project source consists of Java classes, which are located here on the left, and code. This is the code. These are the Java commands and programs and classes which I can run. So let's create some console apps in IntelliJ IDEA. In this section, I will demonstrate how we create and run console-based Java apps in IntelliJ IDEA. I will show you how to create a new Java project, choose the project type, give a name for the project, create a class with a main method, write some code in it, and finally run the project. I will also explain what is JDK, the Java Development Kit, and how to download and install it. I'll show you how to do this. So creating a console application in IntelliJ IDEA starts from new project. So I will close my existing project, and this will return me back to the welcome screen. Welcome to IntelliJ IDEA. Okay, so I click this new project. Okay, and when I click new project, it asks me, shall you create a Java project or Maven project or some other? I'll create Java project, and I have already configured Java SDK version 17. I have two versions of Java, 14 and 17. You might have different versions, and I don't want Kotlin, I want just Java. I click next, then I can create a command line app because this will simplify a little bit my work, and I click next, and I choose a project location, for example, C :/projects, and my project will be, for example, Java programs, for example, because in this project I'll write Java programs. You don't need a package, it's not required, so you just click finish. Now you will have this project called Java programs, where this src is the source code directory. This is where your code files stay. Don't mess with these files now, and you can play a bit to see what libraries are included, but it's not interesting. So on the left are your files, and here is your code. So here you write your code. You can go here and print system.out.println, and you say hello from IntelliJ IDEA! Exclamation, semicolon, enter. Now how to run this? I can use this green triangle, and I say run this main class. It needs some time, but generally now it runs, and you can run it again and again, and the second time it should be faster and faster because many things get cached. Okay, so I can modify my program by adding another command, but I'll show you a shortcut. Sout, I print sout, this is a code template, and now I can print hello again, and I can go at the end of the line, click enter, and I can use again the sout template, enter, and I can calculate 3 multiplied by 5 and print it again. And now I can run this main class again, and it will print this one. I have a mistake here. So I have created a program consisting of 3 lines of code. How IntelliJ IDEA helps me? If I have something incorrect, it will immediately tell me, oh, I cannot resolve this symbol stat dds, etc. I should fix this. What will happen if I don't have semicolon here? It will tell me, oh, you have a problem. I expect to have a semicolon here, but you don't have it. If I try to run this program, it will tell me that I have a problem. It cannot run. So, because Java is a compiler-based language, it first checks whether your code is correct, and only if it is entirely correct, from a syntactic point of view, you will be able to run it. If the code is not correct, you'll get an error message during the compilation, and you cannot run it. So this is how IntelliJ IDEA works. This is just for your information, how to create a new project. You start with Java, you choose the command line up, you click next, and finally you click finish. And it's recommended to have some projects directory, for example, C projects, or for example, my document/projects, or some other location you may find good one, for example, your desktop. But I highly recommend to have a projects folder and put all your projects there. So this is how you create a project. We usually leave this package empty. Packages are used when your whole project is big, for example, 10,000 lines of code, and you need to split it into packages. Let's say a few words about JDK. JDK is a short from Java Development Kit. It is a kit used by Java developers, which holds the Java platform with all the tools that developers need in order to write, run, compile, debug programs. It consists of the Java runtime, the so-called Java Virtual Machine, JVM, and the Java libraries, such as the Java IDEA or Java.util. The Java compiler is Java C and GIS Java commands Java and Java C are part of JDK, and some tools like Java console, like debuggers, like and many others, like documentation generators, etc. So where we get the JDK from? We can either download it from Oracle, which is the official vendor for Java. If you just type in Google download JDK, you will go to the Oracle official website where you can download. You can choose your platform, for example, Windows or Mac, and download the binaries. Okay. Alternatively, you can use the Adoptium Java project, where they have different distribution of Java platform. Like Linux is an operating system, but we have many vendors who provide Linux, for example, Ubuntu, for example, Slackware, for example, Gentoo, for example, Red Hat or Fedora, and many others. So in the same way, we have several distributions of the Java platform, or let's say variants of Java platform, which is called also OpenJDK, Open Java Development Kit. So I usually download this. I use Windows and I use this installer. And once you install this one, you can use it and you can configure IntelliJ IDEA to use this JDK, because different versions of JDK might have different features implemented. Newer versions have more functionality than the other ones. This is how the official installer in Windows for Java 17 from Oracle looks like. You just click next, 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 it's installed. Once Java IntelliJ IDEA is started, if you don't have configured JDK, you will need to configure one. JDK, for example, if you say edit configurations, see, you can now tell which JDK you will use, and it will appear here. I have now Java 17 installed and Java 14 in the same time. I may have several Java versions in the same time. So I recommend to use the latest version, because we don't want to learn something which is old-fashioned, which was modern 5 years ago. For example, Java 8 was modern 10 years ago. So if you have this screen in IntelliJ IDEA, once you can either download the JDK, which will download and install it for you, or you can install it and then locate the directory or folder where it is located. This is a single action, so I believe you will cope with this. So how do we write programming code in IntelliJ IDEA? In IntelliJ IDEA and in all other environments, Java code is written in classes. This is called a class, which has a name, which is here. Our class is called main. It's obligatory, and in the main class you have the so-called main method. We have a shortcut for the main method. You can write main and it will create you this secret spell: public static void main string bracket args and some other things. And here you write your code. For example, you print hello, and you can run it like this: right click, run. Or you can
run from here. Okay, and this is the command which is executed, and this is the output. Let's go ahead. We write the Java code here and this one, and not here but here on the right. So if we write some code like this, it's incorrect to put it here. Why? Because when some command is inside another, it should be put on the left, on the right. So if we have several commands like this, these commands should be put on the right. So this is called a block, and this block is inside this block. Okay, we have block and another block inside it. So by definition, it's highly recommended, and this is a standard, that you should put your block on the right. If you write your code like this, it will be very hard to find now which bracket is not closed, this one or this one. I have problem, I have a bracket which is not closed. So if I put this, my IntelliJ IDEA automatically arranges correctly my code, because this way to arrange your code is incorrect, it's bad. So developers always structure their code in a way that it visually visualizes how one block is nested inside another block. See, this is called a block. This block stays inside this one, and inside this block we have another block of 3 commands which is nested. This is called indentation, moving the code to the right when a block is nested inside another one. And if we go here and we delete everything and we press enter, IntelliJ IDEA will correctly locate the place where I need to put my commands. You cannot write your commands here. Even I cannot autocomplete. If you put this command here, it will not compile. Why? Because you cannot put commands here. Here you can only define methods. So remember that your code should always stay here. Okay? How do we start the program? We can use shortcuts. It's easy to find what the shortcuts are. Control Shift F10. Control Shift F10. This runs the program. Compiles and runs the program. Control Shift F10. This is how it works. Or you can use the Visual Studio shortcut Control F5. It also works. Or you can visually use this with the mouse. I recommend to remember the shortcuts because they will save time. If there are no errors, the program will be launched, or if there are some errors, the program, when you click the run shortcut, will tell you where is the problem. This is not a Java statement. It is not valid Java command. This is what the compiler says. Okay, so now I run using my shortcut this code, and the result appear here in this window. Okay, you can have this text wrap, and so I have a scroller here, or I can use the mode without a scroller. But generally this is your output. This is the command which runs your program. And this is how this looks like. I have already explained this to you.
Let's move on to the exercises. Remember that the only way you can learn to code is by coding. This is what you should do immediately after the lesson. Follow the exercises, write your code to solve the practical problems I give you for this lesson, test your solutions to make sure they work as expected, and send them for grading to the judge system. You will find the problem descriptions and the link to the judge system at softuni.org. Let's do it! Let's code! Let's solve a few practical problems.
Let's go ahead. The first problem I need to solve is called Hello SoftUni. You need to write a Java program which prints this text Hello SoftUni on the console, and the output is like this. Let's solve it. I have this Java project, and I'll go here at the src folder. I right click here and I say create a new Java class, and I give it a name. Hello, sorry for these Cyrillic letters. Hello SoftUni. Okay, the name of the class should correspond to its content. So if you have a class which makes calculations, maybe the word calculate is good there. If you have a class which prints Hello SoftUni, its name should answer the question what's inside. This is a general naming convention. If you have a folder on the desktops which holds some photos of your cat, it should be named photos of my cat, for example, or cat, but it should not be new folder brackets 7. Okay, so I have the class, and inside the class here I click enter, and I'm inside the block of the class. So here I need to define my main method, main. I click enter, and IntelliJ IDEA will write all this for me. To be honest, I never write this myself because it's too long to remember it and to write it without mistakes. I always use shortcuts. Main, enter. And this is the shortcut, the code template from IntelliJ IDEA. This is something you cannot have, for example, if you use Notepad. If I print Notepad, and here I should create public class example. So here I don't have main. I need to write public static void main string array args, and I need to move this bracket on the right manually, and etc. etc. Did you see? This text editor is not a Java IDE. It's not suitable for writing code because it doesn't help you. This is the main difference between a normal text editor and Java IDE. Java IDE does a lot of things to help you to be faster, to avoid bugs and mistakes, and to be more efficient. So I need to write to print Hello SoftUni. So I create sout, which prints system.out.println Hello SoftUni. And now I right click here and I say run this code. Please run this code to see what the output will be. So this command prints this text Hello SoftUni, and this is what we need. And now I have a judge. The judge is an automatic grading platform, a system which tells you whether your code is correct or not. So I have previously configured this Hello SoftUni problem here, and if you copy your solution, copy, and go here without tab and click paste, you can submit this for evaluation. And now I can refresh until I need to wait maybe 5 seconds, and it tells me you have 100 points out of 100. So your code is correct and your solution is accepted. So the judge is very helpful system, because when you practice at home and when you have some assignments like this problem which I give you, you can check alone without needing to have a teacher around you. You can check whether your solution is correct or not. So how did we create this? We started with a new Java project, which we give some meaningful name, not ASFD, for example, or project 25. We put a meaningful name, and then we create a class called Hello SoftUni, and we put all of this, and the output is here. I have already demonstrated this for you. I created the code, I created the project, I created the class, and I also submitted it into the judge. I refreshed this list of my submissions until I got the result, which is successful, correct solution. Let's go ahead with the next problem. The next problem is as follows. You need to write a Java program which reads from the console your name, and then it prints hello and your name. For example, if you enter Svetlin, it will say hello Svetlin. If you say Maria, it will say the program will print hello Maria. Okay, let's solve this program. We go here at the source code. Okay, right click, new Java class, and we need to put a name. It will be something like a greeting or hello name or something like this. I cannot use hello name because it holds a space, so I can say hello name. And IntelliJ IDEA created a Java class for me called hello name. By the way, you can increase the font with Control and the mouse scroll wheel here and here as well. So sometimes I will enhance the font size like this. This font is not easy to magnify, to increase the font size. But let's solve the problem. Main, enter, this puts the main method for the class. And now I need first to take the name of the user. In my previous lesson, I explained that we need to use the scanner class. Scanner, when I click tab, see, I click tab, scanner, enter, it's automatically imported. Do you remember? In order to use the scanner class, equals to new scanner.system.in. Okay, in order to use this class, you need to import java.use.scanner. Otherwise, it will tell you, oh, I don't know what is this. I cannot resolve this symbol scanner. But please click Alt Enter and I will import java.use.scanner for you. Alt Enter and import the class. Or I can import it myself by going here, and say import java.util.scanner semicolon. But the easiest and the fastest way is like this. Scanner, it auto-completes this for you. Enter, it imports and auto-completes the scanner. Now I can press Control Space and it suggests automatically, IntelliJ IDEA automatically suggests a name for my scanner. Equals to Control Space, it will say new. Control Space, it will say maybe you need to create a new scanner. Okay, and now I don't have a good suggestion here, but I need to write system.in. Do you see how this automated suggestions, you can choose one by using the arrow keys on your keyboard, but you have automatic suggestions, so you can type this one very fast. If you are fast, I can demonstrate you. You just create scanner request new scanner system.in. See how fast is this? Okay, next I need to read the person's name. String name equals to scanner dot next one. Next one, see, this is the documentation, the help for you. Advances the scanner past one and returns the input that was skipped, which means that it just reads the next one. But it's explained a little bit in a more complex way. I read the name, then I print something like hello and the name plus name. I don't need this empty line, and I can run this. Okay, now it's ready, and it asks me for my name. My name is Svetlin, and it says hello Svetlin, hello, comma. Here I don't have a comma. I'm not sure. Looks like my here I need a comma, here I don't have a comma. Looks like a bug in my program description, but generally you can check which of these two variants will be accepted by the judge and run it until you get your score in the judge. I'll show you. I press enter Mariah, and this is the output. This is the input from the user, this is the output. I can also write things like something like please enter your name. Please enter your name, and my name is Svetlin Nakov, for example. It says hello Svetlin Nakov. Okay, so sometimes we need to tell that we need to read a name which is of kind string. But in modern Java, you can use var. Var means that you don't need to specify the type of this data, of this value, which will be returned from scanner.nextLine, and it will be assumed to be string. This simplifies your code. Here I also can write var, which tells, this is a new scanner, which means that this is of type scanner. And I run the code, it will run exactly the same. What's your name? For example, Teddy. Hello, Teddy. Okay, let's try to submit this in the judge. Of course, we have a judge system where you put your code, and the judge will tell you whether your code is correct or not. I'll put this code, and it probably will not run correctly. Why? We'll see. Okay, we have wrong result. Let's click on details. The judge will explain. The judge expects hello Peter. It gives you as input Peter and expects hello Peter, but you print please enter your name, which means that you are not allowed to print this message, because this program is automatically evaluated by the judge, and the judge wants to read an input and to print hello space input. It is with space, without comma. So let's run it again. If I type Peter, the output should be hello Peter. See, if I type Peter, the output expected should be hello Peter. If I type Mariah, the output should be hello space Mariah. And that's all. I close this, and now I have a correct solution. Copy, right click, paste, submit. I submit this. It's waiting here for to be processed, and it takes its correct result. By the way, this judge is very powerful. Do you see what happens? We have currently 22.8 million problems submitted, and we have 300,000 submissions this September. And you can see that this is why. You can open this and see the statistics. You can see the latest submissions and see that if we refresh, we'll have more and more. Do you see what happens? People submit, and this is working constantly. Why? Because tens of thousands of people are learning programming with SoftUni. We are highly reliable and proven coding school where people learn programming and start a job. But let's get back to my lesson. This is how we can create a new class, greeting, and write the code inside the class. So the next problem is called customer info. You need to write a program which reads customers' first name at the first line, last name at the next line, and email. So read a string called first name, then a string called last name, then this, and print customer, colon, space, the first name, space, the second name, bracket, the email, bracket. I leave this for you. I will not write this code because if I show you everything, you will be just copy pasting. You will see my code and rewrite it without putting some effort to solve it yourself. I want you to solve this yourself. Remember that the most important activity in learning how to code is coding. Maybe I repeated myself several times today, but it's really important to do and submit your exercises and to practice what you have learned today. Because programming is a skill, not knowledge. To learn a skill, you should practice. Practice. Now it's your turn. Do your exercises.